So before we jump into the fragrances, I just want to give a quick shout out. I happened to meet this wonderful family at Burlington. They happen to recognize me. They watch the channel. Mike and Lisa and their son, for the love of God, I apologize, my man. I know I asked you multiple times. I'm terrible with names. I want to say it was Sean. I apologize if I got it wrong. I'm pretty confident in that, but I could be wrong. But wonderful people. They happen to watch the channel. Big time fragrance lovers. They love finding stuff on a bargain. They were actually there looking for CK1 Summer 2021, which is actually the same Burlington that I got CK1 Summer 2021. So it was nice to run across them. We had a great conversation randomly about some fragrances and fragrance collections and nightly routines and stuff like that. So before we jumped into it, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. It's always nice to meet fellow fragrance lovers in the community. Well, I decided to hit my usual Burlington. That's the one rack store in the area I haven't hit in the last week, as you've been seeing multiple rack store videos. And I ended up coming across this. What a coincidence. I felt like it was meant to be. This little 2-pack of David Beckham fragrances. I was just looking at some David Beckham fragrances on FragranceNet like 2 nights ago, if I remember correctly. So this is a 1-ounce bottle of Instinct and Homme. I believe they're like some spicier fragrances. I've looked at the note breakdowns before, like spicy and vetiver and stuff like that. I don't know exactly, but for $13 for a 1-ounce bottle of each, I felt like that was worth a dice roll, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna bust this open real quick. We'll check these out and see if you should just save your $13, or if for $13 this is one hell of a deal for 2 1-ounce bottles of 2 different fragrances. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's get it open, and then we'll grab one and spray it. So they're wrapped. So clearly this is Instinct and this is Homme. So we'll roll with Homme first. Here we go. This is it'll be difficult to make this bottle focus because it's predominantly clear, but I mean a decent amount. Let's see if it's worth a damn though. Cap clicks strongly into place. I mean strong too. All right. Don't have nothing over here. 2 good sprays. Definitely a little spicy. Definitely getting a pop of spices in the top. Ooh, this is a smooth spiciness, though. I was expecting rough edges based on just out in the air on that spray. I smelled a lot of spice. This reminds me of Terre d'Hermès style fragrances, but I find this is a little bit fresher than regular Terre d'Hermès, like the EDP, for example. Definitely has that orangey, spicy, slightly earthy vetiver, but it's not really that earthy. I find it's a little bit fresher here. It's got a freshness to it. It's very woody at the same time. And the spices aren't too warming. Like there's a little bit more fresh spice, I think, here than anything else. It's actually quite nice. Not And look, not as sharp and crazy synthetic as I expected it to be. I mean, 13 bucks for 2 1-ounce bottles. You can't help but think they're going to smell super cheap. I've never smelled any David. I don't recall ever smelling any of the David Beckham fragrances over the years in my entire life. And it's like, I've never explored the house. That's why I was kind of looking through what they had on FragranceNet the other night. That's why I felt like this was just meant to be for me to find this for 13 bucks. Who knows? This might be a nice little cheapy gym type of setup for me, because this is nice. It's getting much more woody, but very fresh, spicy. Let's pull these notes up. I'm very curious on what's what. We'll just pull it up on my phone, because the software I'm using, I can't do the split screen. I'm not using the Logitech software. I'm using my Wondershare Filmora editing software to record. That's what I've been doing the last several videos. So let me, Fragrantica, David Beckham Homme, right at the top. There we go. Okay, here we are. Chords are woody, fresh, spicy, citrus, musky, warm, spicy, all of that, yeah, for sure. Aromatic, leather, not really. Herbal, a little bit of that. Fresh, yes. Patchouli, maybe in the dry down. So let's see, it's classified as a woody, spicy. At the top, one of my favorite notes, 2 of my favorite notes are in the top. Sichuan pepper, ginger, and citruses. So ginger, that's probably that crisp, fresh, spicy edge. Sichuan pepper will give you a little bit of heat, and it'll fleet. It'll kind of fade away. It's a short-lived spice. It's a little bit of a sweet, peppery spice. Not on the sweetness level of a pink pepper. It's more sweet heat. More so, that's what I'm saying. It's more spice than sweet, whereas pink pepper is more sweet than spice. If that makes sense. Mids, cashmere wood, leather, and rosemary. Bases, mahogany, musk, and patchouli. That's an interesting note breakdown. For as much spice as this has going on, it's staying so fresh. Sichuan pepper, ginger, rosemary, that's all spicy notes. But rosemary is very fresh spicy. Ginger comes across very crisp and fresh spicy most of the time. So really the only thing warming it up is kind of the Sichuan pepper. It's very smooth. I'm surprised at how smooth this is. I feel like this fragrance alone made it worth the $13, regardless of what Instinct smells like. This is solid. It's not great. It's not phenomenal and mind-blowing, but it's solid. And for being similar to the Terre d'Hermès style, it's a little bit fresher. It doesn't smell exactly like... Let's see what people are comparing it to. Speaking of, is anybody else getting Terre d'Hermès from this? That's the first thing. Terre d'Hermès. So, there you go. And then Vince Camuto Homme. Now, I like this more than Vince Camuto Homme. F by Ferragamo, not F Black. Guess Seductive. Homme. Creed Viking. I can see that. This is a little bit warmer. Still has that aromatic freshness. So, I could see a little bit of similarity to Creed Viking. That makes sense. Maybe that's why I like it. Because it's fresh, spicy, aromatic, and woody. That's a nice blend. That, like I said, I feel like regardless of the performance, this could disappear in 2 hours, and I still think it's worth 13 bucks by itself for this 1-ounce bottle. So this is solid. It's a good daily wear fragrance right here. Year-round. Can even pull off in the evenings. I like it. Let's check out Instinct. Okay, so this bottle's a little bit cooler. I like it. It's a little bit more uniform. Sticker on the front. Premium feel to it. Kind of heft. Solid heft. A little heavy for a 1-ounce bottle. It's got a nice base. Sticker's flush. Magnetic cap. And a decently strong magnet, too. Wow. Didn't see that coming. No. Did not see that coming. Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes me happy. So far, the first fragrance is good, and the second fragrance has a nice bottle. So, yeah, I'm sold for $13. 2 good sprays. I just love magnetic caps. I do. Not breathing through my nose yet. This is spicy, too. This has a little bit of fruitiness going with it, though. This is different. This has a little bit of a seductive evening wear appeal. This is warmer, spicier, and sweeter, but there's still a brightness to it. Not super fresh, not as fresh as Homme. Damn, these are both nice. I'm shocked for 13 bucks. This is a hell of a bargain. Actually is. They don't smell super cheap like I was expecting them to. I've been overlooking this house. I always just, because they were always so cheap. You can always get David Beckham fragrances so cheap from discounters and in rack stores. I always just assumed they smelled accordingly. That's what happens when you assume and don't try things for yourself. Clearly, shame on me. This has more of a darker nuance to it, almost like a licorice. Almost has like a licorice anise, something like that. Anise note, star anise, anise note, something like that. That's kind of jumping out. Or it could be licorice, like they have a little bit of a similarity. Almost like a little bit of a smoky nuance here, too. I'm impressed by both of these. The bottle's amazing on this. This actually smells really freaking good. Like, really good. I'm surprised. Almost solid, but this is really good. This is the star of the show. Let's pull up the notes, shall we? Still have Homme pulled up. Let's just click David Beckham, scroll through the house. Let's scroll through and find it. Let's see. Instinct. Released in 05. Wow, it's been around a long time. Citrus aromatic, warm, spicy, woody, earthy, anise. There you go. It's in there. Soft, spicy, fresh, spicy, patchouli, floral. Aromatic fougere. So it doesn't have top, mid, and base. It's just a plethora of notes, just fragrance notes. Vetiver, bergamot, mandarin orange. The orange makes sense. Star anise. There you go. Pimento is the spice. Patchouli, cardamom, white amber. So there's your warmth. Pimento, cardamom, and amber, and star anise, providing that warm feel. But it does have a little bit of a freshness. It's very woody, and it smells a little smoky to me. This is pretty freaking good. This is a gem. This is a nice little cheap gem right here. This is a great cheap date night fragrance. I'm impressed by David Beckham Instinct. Like, very impressed. Look, it's not blowing my mind. I'm just surprised at how much I like it, how enjoyable it is, how it's not astringent, sharp, rough around the edges. Both of these fragrances are very smooth. Homme's drying down into a woody vetiver smell. But Instinct is really freaking nice. Really nice. Better than I anticipated for sure. As long as this makes it like 4 to 5 hours, this is a nice little cheapy gem right here. I tell you right now, before we put ratings on either of these, for $13, guys, you run across this at the rack stores for 13 bucks and you don't have these? Why the hell not? $13, $12.99 plus tax. I am impressed. This is like one of the best fragrance bargains I've ever gotten, because they don't smell overly cheap and synthetic. They both have a great, like, masculine appeal to them without being an old man dated smell. Like some masculine fragrances can have that old school smell to it. And there's a little bit of character. They have a lot of spice going in both of them. I love spicy fragrances. It's a damn good bargain. I would say, as far as ratings now, okay, how do I want to go about this? So this hand is Homme. This hand is Instinct. Some of the citrus and the freshness is faded, but they're still pretty fresh. Woody smell. Nothing super unique. I think this is solid. This is a little bit better than good. Just a little bit. I'm going to go with a 6 out of 10 on David Beckham Homme. I think this by itself is worth the 13 bucks I paid. This 1 ounce bottle by itself is worth the 13 bucks. And then Instinct. See, this is better. This is better. And then bonus points for the great magnetic cap and bottle. Not that it matters, but the scent alone is very inviting, fresh, a little smoky, sweet and lightly powdery, but not much powder here. Has that licorice smell, gives that darker nuance to it. Adds to the spices, you know. There's a lot of spices in here, but it's not too spicy. Pimento, I think, was a great choice. It gives it that red hot feel without being too much. It's nice and warm. I think Instinct's 7 out of 10. I think this is very good. This is very good. So we got a 6 out of 10 from David Beckham Homme. This was worth the money, the 13 bucks I paid in itself. And then Instinct is just icing on the cake because this is worth the 13 bucks in itself. So guys, if you come across that at a rack store for 13 bucks, this 2-pack of 1-ounce bottles of David Beckham Homme and David Beckham Instinct, if you liked anything you heard me say, I mean, why the hell not? Roll the dice. If you're looking for some great additions to an affordable collection, if you're on a budget, $13 frickin' dollars. They're not amazing. They're not the greatest thing I've smelled. They don't replace any fine fragrances in my collection or anything. But in a pinch, man, this, I can't wait for my wife to smell this and tell me what she thinks. I think she's going to really like this. This is a solid date night, evening wear, cooler weather choice. And then this, you can wear this every day. This will go with every attire. Dress up, dress down, signature scent type of stuff. I mean, I'm impressed. Well, that's my first impressions on this random Burlington find. This 2-pack of David Beckham fragrances, 1-ounce bottle of David Beckham Homme and a 1-ounce bottle of David Beckham Instinct for $12.99 at Burlington. Guys, I'm going to say it one more time. If you see it out there, 13 bucks. Trust me, you can do so much worse with a $20 bill on fragrances at rack stores than you can with 13 bucks on these two. I'm telling you. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried these before, and what do you think about them? I know I'm kind of raving about them, and the reason being is the value. It's what I got for $13 is what's impressing me so much. I got more than what I paid, is how I really feel right now in this moment. I think these are solid. I don't think they're incredibly mind-blowing. I'm not going to wear them all the time, but I am going to wear them in the coming days because I do really like the way they smell. And who knows, if you come across them, you might end up liking them too. And speaking of, until next time, I will say if you get your hands on either one of these or this 2-pack for 13 bucks and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later because this is one hell of a bargain. Have a good one, guys.